Next is Mr. Takehito, artist for many NISA titles. Finally, we have Toshibaku of NISA, producer. So we're going to do a quick rundown, kind of lineage of art for NISA titles and sort of Harada-san's lineage with the company and a lot of favorite franchises that I'm sure all you guys out there are familiar with. And it's quite
Oh, wow.
So from the very beginning, with Disgaea, Our Darkness, and leading into this year with
Labyrinth,
REFRAIN, DUSK, as well as Disgaea One Complete. We're sort of
that's a heck of a resume.
In 15 years.
Yeah, he made the first. I think he did the second one.
To start off, taking a look at the early PlayStation 2 era from 2003 to 2006 with Disgaea, Our
the original,
and some really kind of early sketches at sort of the characters that you guys have come to know and love. Haven't seen these in a long time.
Yeah, sensitive.
Back then, I was still using paper to draw these. You see that printing looks quite different than the older version. Do you guys have any questions regarding these arts? Okay, do that right there.
How long did it take you to draw like these, not like back then versus doing them now? What's that difference?
It takes me longer now than before.
There you go. Perfect.
It takes me roughly 2 to 3 times longer now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
昔はなんかとにかく時間がなくて毎年新作出してましたからね。
Back then, I didn't have any time, and we were pumping out titles every year, so I was trying to get these done as fast as I can.
それでどんどん絵描いてデザインして今見ると実に荒いですね。
So I drew a lot of pictures, I designed a lot of things, and now that I look at it now, it's very rough. So this is one that I think a lot of people will recognize. Pretty
yes.
The original title. And
The left
good
one was
look
the
at
Atlas
sort of
cover.
the rough draft process on the right, leading to the finished product. So,
これは
That art still holds
限定版の
up,
パッケー
really.
ジですね。ちょっと漫画っぽく小回りしたやつです。
so in Japan, this was limited to the limited edition, and I wanted to try it kind of like a Japanese manga.
で、この右下のディフォルメされたエトナとフロンいるじゃないですか。これ箱のこの爪ってどう言えばいいですかね。箱の折り返した部分に実は絵があるんですよ。
So if you guys can focus on the bottom right pictures of Flan and Etna, if you look at if you could get your hands on the limited edition Disgaea 1 in Japan, it's actually on the inside lip of the box. For those of you who
こ
didn't
ちらで
know.
はどういう使われ方しているのか知らないんですけど。
I honestly don't know how NISA used it, but yeah, NISA didn't publish this title.
隠し絵って感じですね。
It's a hidden art. So a couple of really good group shots, and the sort of very familiar intro art. Disgaea.
右は キャラクターコレクションという画集の表紙ですね。カバーアートですね。
So the one on the right is the cover art for an art book that I did.
で、そうそう、これさっき言った通り1年で新作出してたじゃないですか。次のゲーム作りながら書いてるんですよ。
So, like I said earlier, every year I was pumping out titles, so I was actually drawing this while working on the next title.
Oh, wow.
だいぶファントムブレイブに近いテイストがあると思いますね。
So for those Brave fans out there, it might look a little Phantom Bravey.
それで
I don't know, it's fine.
左のラハールが丸まってる絵はタイトル画面ですよね、あれ。
The horror picture looks like he's in a womb is the title screen.
これ日本一の会社の方に出向いてちょっとテストプレイさせてもらってたんですけど、いるから書けみたいなノリになってその場で書きました。
So the story behind the fetus-looking Laharl is when I was at the headquarters test playing the game, since they were like, "Oh, since you're here, can you just draw this for us?"
で左はサントラのジャケット絵ですね。
And the last one on the top left is the jacket or CD art for the soundtrack.
小話特にないですね。
There's no cool story that goes along with this one.
So earlier we were mentioning Phantom Brave, which actually leads us nicely into Phantom Brave. The two main characters here.
こちらはファントムブレイブの設定ですね。
These are the setting arts for Phantom Brave.
右側はラフですね。右側はまだ途中ですね。微妙に違いますね。
So the one on the very right is work in progress art, and it's, if you compare it with the completed one, it's a little different.
まあ色を塗ってないとか
Yeah, so if
あ
you
りますけど、ま
there's lack of color on your legs,
あこの頃は
very right.
ドット絵作るので早くデザインくれってせかされてたんで。
So the story behind this one is that the dev team wanted to make dot art, so they were always on my case to get these done as soon as they can.
本当はこれの前にもボツになったキャラとかいたんですけど載ってないですね。
So before these characters, there were characters that got trashed or scrapped rather, and they're not on here.
非公開って感じですね。
So yeah, that's like the unpublished ones.
はい、次行きましょう。これもファントムブレイブのゲーム内挿絵ですね。
So this is in-game art for Phantom Brave.
左の絵はなんだっけ。
One on the right is the in-game art, and I can't remember what the left one is. Let me think about it.
雑誌の表紙かなんかだったと思います。
I believe it was used for a magazine cover.
いいですね。まあ、ディスプレイと違って光ある表現を意識してますね。
So unlike Disgaea, I really wanted to focus on like the brighter things, and you could tell in the picture.
今見るといろいろ書き直したいですけど、昔ですからしょうがないですね。
Looking back at it now, I would really like to fix a lot of things, but you can't really go back in the past, so what gives?
So we got a great look here at sort of this nice one. And we see those research and say, pretty.
これはファントムブレイブのキャラクターコレクション、画集の表紙ですね。
So the one on the left is the Phantom Brave character collection art book cover,
右上にあるのが裏表紙の フォントですね。
And the one on the right, top right, is the back cover of that same art book.
はい、これはゲームのドット絵の小さいキャラのイメージでわらわら置いてみました。
So for these arts, I wanted to kind of picture like the dot art characters in the game, and I wanted to maybe draw like a very noisy art, I guess, with a lot of characters.
So, in a group shot like this, we see on the right, it has these sort of breakdown per sort of step that you took. Maybe go over, if you could go over how you decide how to break up a complicated, noisy picture like this.
右のはい右のやつで途中経過は分かると思うんですけど、分からないかな。キャラごとに分けて書いて、あとは微妙に一応調整してるぐらいですけど、だいたい勢いに任せて書いてますね。
So as you can tell by the progress pictures, I drew one character at a time, and I would change their positioning every now and then, but for the most part, I just like forced my way into just drawing everything.
これでもまた質問があれば。
Oh yeah, so fan brave questions, anybody? You're in the red. Yeah.
So one thing that I really like about the art style is the colors. It's very varied. That's one reason why I decided to buy the game in the first place. I was the game style.
はい。
And I saw the cover and I'm like, man, this looks very cool, very simple. Like the color just came out. So how were you able to figure out the colors for each piece?
So the question was sort of how do you figure out the questions of each piece in such a bright colored game like Phantom Brave?
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
ファントムブレイブはとにかくお日様の下の色のイメージですか。砂浜や木などに光が当たった時の眩しさを意識しようとして頑張ってたんですよね。
So for Phantom Brave, I wanted to, the image I had was under the sun, like bright sunlight, and I focused on like sandy beaches and how suns hit sandy beaches and how the sunlight hits trees, and that's how I came to these colors.
それを感じていただければ幸いです。
Yeah, I'm really happy for you to ask that question, for you to feel that way about my art for this specific. Any other questions? You were fast.
What was it like for, I guess, for Disgaea and for Phantom Brave? You had characters cameo from DUSK and Musical Adventure. So I was wondering what it was like bringing them from their original PS1 game to the PS2.
今書けばこうなるなって感じで新しく書き直してますね。顔のグラフィックなど。
So, depending on the project and where I was, like what project I was working on, the art would change, the art style would change. So, I would draw it in the current project style that I would be drawing it in.
毎回ゲスト出演すると逆になるんで、逆キャラになっちゃうんで、割り切ってほしいですね。なんでしょう、楽しんでほしいですね。
So every time a character makes a cameo appearance, it like kind of changes their image. So it would be nice if you guys could enjoy each character in different worlds.
Speaking of different characters in different worlds,
There it is.
the sort of D2 Phantom Brave crossover.
これはロザリンドと一緒にいるからだいぶ後に描いたイラストですね。
So focusing on Verona here, as you can tell, Rosalind's in the same art. So it was way after Phantom Brave came out.
多分左右別々で別々に使う上でくっつくと一つの絵になると思うんですけど、何に描いたかちょっと記憶が曖昧ですね。
I don't remember what we used this for, but I believe I did one piece at a time, the left side and the right side, and it would just come join together. But like I said, I don't remember what I used it for.
多分テレホンカードか何かだったと思います。
Finally.
So I think they may have used it for telephone calling cards that they have in Japan, or they used it in Japan at least.
So moving on to Makai Kingdom. Sort of very different take, especially compared to the previous ones.
はい。このタイトルはゼタがすごい身長高いじゃないですか。だから全体的に年に上げたんですけど、今見ると上げすぎだかなと思ってます。
So for this title, the main character Zeta is really tall. So all my characters are kind of tall. And now looking back to it, I think I may have overdone the tall thing.
Whoops.
ゼタがこれぐらいのスタイルで出したかったんで、しょうがないんです。
Yeah, I was really set on the proportions of Zeta and his shape. So I guess you can't really do anything about it.
まあ本になりますけどね。
Yeah, although he becomes a book, as some of you may know.
And yeah, we find a way to see
What do you say?
Pretty Mako's appearance.
Both in the game. Oh, both.
But even he is a bit more Makai Kingdom.
そうですね。この辺からむしろこの辺からプリニーが丸くなった感じしますね。
So yeah, this is around the time Prinny started becoming more rounded compared to his original.
影の付け方は不気味ですね、この絵。
And if you look at the shadow on the Prinny, it's kind of mysterious, I guess.
けどスタイル的には今の基準にかなり近いと思いますね。1の時はちょっと首がくびれてたりしたんで。
So yeah, so for Prinny in Disgaea 1, he had a neck at a time, but now he's more rounded, and this is pretty close to what Prinny is today.
So now Disgaea 2.
じゃあ、キングダムでの質問
A very interesting key art today.
MAKAI Kingdom questions. I see a hand over there. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to hear you though, huh? Sandy, go! I choose you!
Mic guy. There you go.
Hello?
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, hi. I was wondering where you find your references for your characters, and even if you use references, and how you use them.
Yeah, nothing really.
Nothing.
自分が今まで見たそれまで見たイメージをまとめなんでしょう。ファントムキングダムの世界観で落とし込んだらこんな感じですかね。
So it's everything that I've seen in my lifetime, and I guess the world for Phantom Kingdom was already set, so it would be the things I've seen in my life jammed into this world, and that's how I came up with these characters. If that makes sense.
ファントムキングダムは多分一番時間がなかったんで大変でした。
Yeah, this title I had the least time for, so it was really, really hard.
魔界坊主あるじゃないですか。途中まで魔界坊主を作ろうとしてたので、ちょっとスタートが遅いんですよ。すみません。
Okay. Any other questions?
Dark Lord Valvoga was kind of a triple personality character. Did you kind of plan each portion of that character separately, or did you from the start know that it was going to have 3 different types of heads and 3 different personalities, and you drew it all at once?
あれはラスボスみたいなキャラを用意してくれと注文が来たんですよ。ラスボスといったら大体狙う場所が数箇所あるじゃないですか。そういうコンセプトで顔つけたらああいうキャラ付けされました。
So the request from the developers was to make a character that's very Last Boss-like, and as all of us know, Last Bosses have many different points where you could hit them. So that's how he came about.
Oh, that's great.
そんな感じですね。まあいかにもラスボスで変なやつをイメージしましたね。
Yeah, so my image was Last Boss and Weird Guy. Those were the 2 things.
Weird guy. Yeesh.
This guy too.
This guy too, and a really unique key.
この右の絵は濃いですけど、まあ、ファントムキングダム的なディスガイア2のイラストですね。これはサトラの絵なんですけどね。
Very too loud.
So yeah, as I said earlier, depending on what adjacent projects I worked on, it would have that influence. And as you can tell with this one, this guy too came after MAKAI Kingdom, which is why this key art on the right, which by the way was used for the sound art, sound book, sorry, is thank you. It's very MAKAI Kingdom-y.
順番的にはキングダムの後ですよね。こっちは。はい。
Yeah, so like I said, this is right after MAKAI Kingdom, which is why the art is very MAKAI Kingdom inspired.
これが
That's how we look at it now.
パッケージですね。
And this is the Disgaea 2 package art.
またこのいっぱいキャラ描かないといけない。頑張るぞって書きましたね。
So yeah, I mean, again, the request was I need to draw a lot of characters. So I was like, I'm gonna do it, and then I did it.
将来から数年経ってますね。
So from the original, this is like a few years after the original.
だいぶなんか絵もカラフルになって。
And yeah, the colors, my art's been getting more colorful after a few years from Disgaea 1.
初代よりはちょっとテイスト違いますね。
Yeah, and the feel is very different from Disgaea 1.
いきますかね。OK。これはこれもキャラクターコレクションの制作途中ですね。右のやつは裏に口絵描いたやつですね。
So this is the work in progress character collection art book piece, and the TV piece is a thing I drew for the back.
次にこれのイラストあるんじゃないかな。あれない。
So moving through the
ないな。
through
Oh, do we have?
We just got 2 questions.
We're kind of time crunch. Okay. Sorry, time crunch. We'll try to do questions at the end.
So for moving on to PlayStation 3,
それが2のめっちゃお話です。時間が押してるんです。はい、わかりました。これはディスガイア3のあれ初中見舞いのイラストですね。初中見舞いってこちらあります。はい。アンケートはがきに送ってもらってると、夏の暑い頃に日本中ソフトからはがきが届くんですよ。
So,
それに新作の絵が載ってたりするので、それの絵です。
so in Japan, for the fans that answer our questionnaires, we send them key arts like this, and the one on the right is exactly what that is. We send these out to people that answer our questionnaires for us.
まだタイトルとか秘密にして何の絵かはわからない。
So at the time this was drawn and sent out to our fans didn't know what this was for. They didn't know it was Disgaea 3.
そういうイラストです。この辺はソフトについてくるカードなどの何でしょうお店ごとについてくる特典なので、お店の人がこれだったらいけるみたいな注文で来るので、ブルマとか水着だったりするんですよ。そうですね。
So these are trading cards that came with the release of the game, and depending on the store, they would order different kinds of trading cards. So some people might go with the swimsuit one, or some stores might go with the bloomers one.
which way does Harada-san go?
Let me think. I like them both.
定番として人気で真面目なゲームでもこういうの書かされるんですよね。面白いですよね。
So yeah, I mean, these are both very popular in Japan, and even for a more serious game, there would be arts like this, and yeah, it's really fun to do.
まあ僕は楽しんで書きましたけどね。
So yeah, I really enjoyed drawing these.
So we have one of our first major offshoots for 22, PSP title. And the two key arts for both 22 and Asagi Wars.
そういえばいきなりプリニー2ですね。なかったんですか。
Yeah, I guess we're skipping pretty one today. It's really sad.
けど僕ここの絵好きですよ。
Yeah, I really like the pretty two key art though. なんか
思い出ですかね。まあ実はこのプリニーのポーズは一のジャケットのポーズだったんですけどね。一の時のね。
So the pretty two key art, his pose where he's holding the two swords like this, it was a pose that I wanted to be used on the first one, but it got scrapped. So I brought it back. Yeah, so I really like how he fits in with the whole art in there.
で、アサギウォーズはちょっとスター・ウォーズっぽいですよね。
Yeah, so yeah, Asagi Wars kind of looks like Star Wars, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
はい、そういうタイトルだからしょうがないですよね。
Yeah, that's just the way it is, right? I mean, what can I do?
そのアサギが集合してますね。
Yeah, so you can see the different types of Asagi there.
いろんなアサギがいますよね。右下のカクカクしてるのは実際にドット絵で描いて仕込みました。
So for the bottom right one, the Minecraft-y looking one, we actually drew the dot art and then we put it into here later.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it.
やっぱムキムキなやつ気になりますよね。
Yeah, so doesn't the buff one kind of catch everyone's attention?
なんですか、ゲストキャラはもうすでにゲストイラストレーターさんの前で上がってきたんですよ。こういうの出すって。それ見て僕が書いてるんで、割とギョッとしましたね。
So we had a guest artist draw the buff. Okay, the buff Asagi, and I saw it, and I decided to draw one on my own, and they just decided to throw it in here as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all fun, and I think it's cool, right, guys? Yeah.
D4.
Sky 4.
Sky 4.
右は新しいユニットの設定がですかね。
Yeah, so the very right one is a new unit at the time for Disgaea.
格闘家のポジションあるじゃないですか。毎回変わるんですよね。
Oh yeah, the martial artist position always changes for those of you who may have noticed.
で、4がこういう感じでした。バウンサーでしたっけ。
Yeah, and I believe his name was the bouncer, right, guys? Yeah, he's like the martial artist in this one. Brawler.
左が限定版のパッケージですね。
The very left one was the limited edition package art.
これはもう書き方がだいぶ限定版はこういう集合イラストにしようって決まってきてたんで、なんでしょう。
Yeah, as you guys may have noticed, like all our limited edition arts are starting to look kind of similar, and this is where it kind of started to, I guess, solidify in this kind of format.
シリーズとしてのフォーマットが安定してきてる頃ですね。
Yeah, so yeah, this is like one of the first ones where it was finally coming into place.
この風花は急いで書いた覚えがありますね。
I remember drawing this really fast.
なんだかちょっと記憶がないですけど。
Honestly, don't remember what we used it for.
書いてますか。
Yeah, it's like there's something down there, but
次行きましょう。
yeah, let's go to the next one.
あれ
D2.
So it's sort of a return to the original designs now with sort of enhancements, alterations, slight changes, but still unmistakably the same three that we knew in D1.
そうですね。デザインは変えてくれって言われたんですよ。一と明らかに違うデザインにしてって。めっちゃ悩みました。
Yeah, so for this one, they requested me to really change the design for this one, make it different from Disgaea 1. So I really put a lot of thought into these.
途中でもうジャケット着せたり、ラハールにジャケット着せちゃったりとか、いろいろ考えたんですけど、やっぱあんまり変わりすぎてもキャラクターとして良くないなということで、いろいろあった末にこれに落ち着きました。
So I gave Laharl a jacket, and I was like, no, this isn't working. And so, I mean, after all the thought process that I put into it, this is what we came up with in the end.
そうですね。結局変わってないって感じです。
So again, the request was please change it a lot, but ultimately it didn't change that much.
それでももっと短い方がいいとか、スカートの方がいいとか、やっぱ意見があるので悩みましたね。
Yeah, so even then, with the minimal, or I mean, I shouldn't say minimal, but the small changes, we had fans say the skirt should be, or she should be wearing a skirt, or he should be wearing a shorter pair of shorts. So yeah, I mean, again, there was a lot of thought process put into these.
これも例によってお店の注文ですね。
Yeah,
メ
so
ガネかけてくれみたいな。
okay, so this was from the store, a request from the stores, and yeah, they wanted glasses. So you want glasses, you get glasses.
お店のイラストは本当担当の人の趣味が出るので、販売店ですね。
So yeah, the stores would request these arts, like the bloomers and the swimsuit earlier. They wanted glasses, and it really depends on depending on the store. The requests really change, so it's really interesting.
きっとこの担当者はメガネが好きだったんでしょうね。
Yeah, so the person working here must have really liked glasses or girls.
そうですね。これは
Sort of a fan favorite Mahalo shot.
ラハールちゃん。これもラハールが女になるからデザイン出してって言われて、
So for female Laharo, they told me that Laharo's gonna turn into a girl, and I was like, what? And this is what I came up with.
最初は普通に女の子にしようとしたんですけど、割と僕のキャラのプレネールさんと被るんで、これはちょっとお父さんにしようかなって、ちょっと背高くして。
At first, I just tried to keep him short like Laharo, but it really looked like my other character, Plenaire. So I stretched him out a little, made him look more like his dad, and this is what came out of it. Yeah, so this is like, after balancing it out, yeah, this is the final female Laharo product that we came out with.
So sort of more the modern era, into PS3, into PS4.
I still have to play that.
魔女という騎兵ですね。
Switch 109, 100.
実はこっちがディスガイア D2 より先に開発してたんです。なので絵描く時間は多かったですね。
So I started drawing for this game before D2 came out, so like chronologically speaking, these arts are before D2, and this guy's made me busy, so I had way more time to draw these.
なんですかね、細かいじゃないですか。
If you look at the pictures, you can tell that these have a little more intricate details than the other titles, so you can tell that I had more time to work on this.
じゃあ5いきますね。マチョは初めてポリゴンのキャラクターだったので、全員の設定をちゃんと前横後ろ、この中とかデザインして楽しかったですね。
So compared to other titles in the past, these characters were the first polygon created characters, so I had to really draw them from the front, the side, the back, inside their clothes and everything. So it was really a joy to work on.
D5.
Yeah, so this is the most recent Disgaea. It's pretty new, recent.
キャラが集合してますね。これも例によって限定版ですね。
Yeah, so as I said earlier, the character art for the limited editions was like following the same format. So I guess if you compare this to like Disgaea 4 limited edition art, it's kind of a similar format again.
ページは何があります？あ、もうこっちが。
So we're moving into unreleased yet in the West, Labyrinth, REFRAIN, COVEN, DUSK. We actually have the title at the booth 3400. If you guys want to go try it out.
今のところ一番新しいですね。
So this is like my most recent art.
これはダンジョン RPG ということで、ユニットの絵を全部ちゃんとイラストでゲーム画面に出そうということで描きましたね。大変でしたね。
So since it was a dungeon RPG and all the character arts would actually come out in game, I really spent a lot of time on it, and I remember it was really hard.
ディレクターの人が注文細かくて、ゲーム中の絵も服装が違うとか、頭に魚が乗ってるとか、バリエーションがあって大変でしたね。
So the director of this game had a lot of different requests for me. Like, I need a fish on their head here, or I need them to be wearing something else in this one. So I drew a lot, and it was, it took a lot of my time. All right, back to question time, everybody.
Got a few more.
With the beard. I was pointing at
Watch
you.
your step there. Look.
Yeah.
Watch your step there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, question. I recall very big major change between design of one particular class in Disgaea 1 and Disgaea 2. Basically, rogue class was changed a lot. Previously, that's male kind of normal rogue, and then it's cute girl. What motivated this change? Can you say it?
I think that was about a major change between one character to from one to
One character class.
Which character class?
Rogue.
Is that warrior?
Oh, hold on. Oh.
Thief class.
はい。そうですね。あれは、そもそも1から2が年空いてますので、ドット絵のグラフィックから全部一新させるためにデザインも変えようという話になったんですよ。
So between 1 and 2, Disgaea 1 and 2, there were a lot of years in between, so we wanted to really renew the design and come up with something new.
初代のシーフと魔法使いの女だけはドットの池田君が先に動かすために僕がデザインしたわけじゃないんですよ。だから池田君がデザインした。
So for the original one, the thief character and the female mage class was actually not designed by me. It was designed by the dot artist, Mr. Ikeda.
で、ディズガイア2の本人がほぼ同じ担当だったので、デザインを大幅に変えてくれという注文が。
Okay, and Mr. Ikeda, who was in charge of dot art again in Disgaea 2, requested to really just change the design of these characters.
よし、じゃあ泥棒キャラを作ってやるぜって言ったら今のような猫っぽいのがありました。
So that's how the cat-like thief character came about in Disgaea 2. Very different from the original. Let's go to
Just about out of time, unfortunately.
Would you like one more question?
Yeah, one other for me.
One more question. Raise your hand, the highest, guys. Highest.
Got a good question. Got a good question.
It's between these two. Okay. Let's go with blue, since I did more on this side. Sorry.
Actually, piggybacking off of his question, Disgaea 1 and Disgaea 2 also had a change for the Skull Mage character. And I was wondering, A, which one of the two designs is your favorite? Disgaea 1 had the closed mask, and Disgaea 2 and then on have had the open mask Skull Mage. And also, was that your design or the Dot's design?
はい。はい。あ、そうですね。あれも注文ですね。僕1の方が好きだったんですけどね。やっぱね、人気が出ないって言われてね。
So I actually like the one from Disgaea 1 better.
違います。あれ僕です。
I actually like the one from Disgaea 1 better, but due to the lack of popularity it had, we had to bring her face out, and voila.
Voila.
So if you guys look back through all the Disgaeas, the characters that have disappeared were the ones that weren't very popular. I mean, if you want the character to remain, like them and become a fan of them, and make yourselves heard.
Oh, man.
So thank you guys so much for coming. Make sure to catch our next panel Sunday at 3:30 in LP4. Of course, we also have Labyrinth or Refrain coming to DUSK coming out September 18th, and Disgaea 1 Complete available October 9th. Please come by the booth at 3400 in the exhibit hall. We have samples of the LE and the games to play. So hope you guys enjoyed, and please enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, so we have everything to wrap. So please file to the store.
There we go, we're off.